This episode of the Bayou Dragons podcast is brought to you by Snuff Cup Spittoons. It's a really neat product that we've partnered up with Matthew Baker, the owner of Snuff Cup Spittoons, a machine washable plastic design that unscrews at the bottom, holds your can of dip, you do your thing, spill-proof cap, and the new XL Snuff Cups are magnetic.
Listen, guys, I don't know about y'all, but at the end of the day, I like to crack open an ice-cold Lone Star Light. We would like to thank our sponsors, Lone Star Light Twisted Tea, for sponsoring the podcast. Listen, we like to have a good time. If you know us, if you're a follower of the show, we love to have a good time. We like to have that camaraderie on the back porch, whether we're grilling, whether we're chilling out, ice-cold beer in hand. Lone Star Light is the go-to. Texas-based, Texas-proud. If you guys are drinking a beer, it better be a Lone Star. And if you're not drinking a Lone Star, you better not let us hear it on the Bayou Dragons. Welcome to the Bayou Dragons podcast. Let's get into the show. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to episode 18 of the Bayou Dragons podcast. Been long overdue. Had a little bit of a break there. Been working, man. We've been real busy trying to get things done, get things rolling. Excited to come at you guys today with episode 18. Finally, we're joined by our good friend, Captain Ryan Warhola.
What's going on, guys?
He's back.
He's back.
He's been a very sought-after guest to have on again, and it's funny because I've seen Ryan a few times, like when we're at events or shows, and he's like, somebody just walked up and asked, were you the guy on the Bayou Dragons podcast?
Yeah, it happened to me at the Texas Trophy Hunter show in Houston. Some random dude walks up to me. He's like, hey, man, were you on the Bayou Dragons by chance? Are you Ryan? I was like, yeah, that would be me.
Did you know we were going to be out there?
Yeah, I knew y'all were going to be there, yeah.
That was funny. I was not expecting to see you out there, and you just walked up to the booth.
Yeah, no,
What's up, man?
I got a 4-year-old who's all about hunting and fishing, so he wanted to go. So we went and did the thing, you know.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You So Matt, we haven't done a podcast since Rice Festival. I don't think.
No, you guys did. I want to say the last one y'all did was with Casey.
Oh, okay, that was after. Okay.
So, but yeah, that was a busy time. We were kind of all over the place on that one.
Yeah. So we're back. We're in our new little studio, starting to get some stuff up, some shit hanging up behind us. So, but we just wanted to sit down with old Captain Ryan Warhola, talk to him about it's hunting season. He's been killing some deer. He's been doing some offshore fishing. He has a new company. Just kind of go into that. And I think the first thing is the snapper slapper. I'd like for you to kind of dive into that.
Yeah, so we just bought snapper slapper lures from Woody, who's been a long-time owner of it. He's had it for 20-something odd years now, and I heard it was coming available, so I called him up and made an offer, and he took it, and now we own a lure company.
And snapper slapper lures, it's a renowned for red snapper fishing.
Yeah, I mean, any boat, especially in Texas, any boat that you go on is going to have a snapper slapper on it.
And you've been fishing with them since you were a child.
Yeah, so I was actually one of the first charter services that was sponsored by Snapper Slapper Lures. I was 18 years old when I had a big red Snapper Slapper Lures stuck on the side of my boat when I was running charters out of Sabine Pass.
How is that like? I know we have a friend that recently bought out Sure Shot Game Calls and kind of like continuing the heritage of a great company that provides a superior product in whatever in that industry. You know, how do you feel about that as far as like, you know, kind of carrying on the legacy, man? You've been handed the torch. Yeah,
so I mean that's kind of the conversation I had with Woody when I was looking to buy it. I text him honestly and I go, hey, heard there's a rumor you're trying to sell Snapper Slapper, and he goes, I'll call you in 15 minutes. I said, okay. 15 minutes, he calls me and goes, why, are you interested? I said, shit, maybe. How much you want to sell it for? You know, I mean, and we got to talking and whatnot, made a deal. And he goes, I wouldn't have sold it to anybody. I'd rather sell it to you than anybody else, Ryan, because as far as snapper fishing and everything goes, you know what this company has been through, you know, our growing pains. You were with us from the beginning. And I think you continue the legacy on with it. And that's what I'm going to do. I've made a few tweaks here and there, added a few different new lures. And my biggest thing was on the sales side of things. I've added it to Amazon, improved the website, and looking to make it more of a Gulf Coast and the southern Atlantic. They snapper fish in Georgia. Well, I bet they could use a snapper slapper lure in Georgia. So that's my goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean it's not just for snapper fishing. I mean, the cunning name snapper slapper, but I've caught ling, I've caught all kinds of shit on it.
Yeah, I mean, I've handed out some of our smaller ones to some guys, and Fathoms to Feathers, they're on Instagram, and those guys over there, they've been using them to catch flounder, they've been using them to catch redfish. Another industry I think would be good is the striped bass industry on the East Coast, and then up in Alaska, you can't tell me a halibut wouldn't eat one of those 7-ounce snapper slappers.
I'm sure they would. I guarantee you, I'm going to get one, and I'm going to go catch some white bass on Toledo with them.
Oh, yeah, I have a 1/4 ounce. I mean, that'd be the perfect one to use.
It'd be interesting to just go and try and catch like whatever different species we can.
Oh, yeah. Just everything with snapper slapper.
Catch on snapper slapper.
It doesn't catch just snapper. King of bass, baby.
King
of bass.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's fun, man. You seem to I noticed this, like, in our talks and stuff, you seem to have a pretty good, work-life balance when it comes to those kind of things. Like, I'm honestly kind of jealous of it. Like, I feel like you're really, the way you've structured your life is beneficial to your businesses and your passions. And you've been able to kind of cross those two in a healthy and, in a way that, not saying it's not hard work. Like, I know that's got to be, you're driven and you have a passion for all these things, but, they seem to intertwine in a good way for you.
Yeah. So I mean, everything kind of works together when it comes to it, especially with snapper slapper and the fishing. And obviously, I love fishing. Anybody who knows me knows I fish all summer long, even during the wintertime for wahoo and whatnot. And even with the other companies that we do, I try to mold everything entertainment wise with hunting and fishing. I don't play golf. I hunt and fish.
Yeah, well, that's good. You have two hobbies that take up a lot of time. If you threw in golf, it would just throw one out of whack.
Yeah.
And you'd be shit at golf.
I do all three of those things, and I'm terrible at golf, and I don't even know why I still play.
I tried to play golf one time, and if I wanted to hit the fairway in front of me, I'd have to go 180 degrees the other way, and it would slice to the fairway. So I just gave up on golf altogether. I just got so I was like, man, I'm done with this. I suck.
Have you it's been a little bit. Like, I know you sent me some pictures like a week or two, maybe 2 weeks ago. Have you been off lately? Went snapper fishing or anything? Any trips lately?
My most recent trip, I took my 4-year-old offshore, and it was nice, calm day. We went out, and he was on my ass. Daddy, I want to bring my pole. I said, okay, you're not. I put it in the boat just to appease him. Didn't think we were going to use it. He caught 9 mahi and a triple tail on his little pole. Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about no little chicken mahi either. I'm talking about mahi we had to gaff, and he had a blast. Now he's the offshore fisherman now. That's all he wants to do anymore is go offshore. So
bug got him.
Yep.
Yeah. We had a conversation earlier. We were talking about it. It was I've been offshore one time. We came back and we spoke about it on a podcast previously. But I was telling Ryan, and he was the one that brought us out there. I said, man, when I got back, I was just kind of like thinking about what have I been doing wrong? Like my whole life, my whole perspective on the way that I've structured my life changed after I got back off of that boat. I was like, man, like I could live out here. Like I could live for this. And I was like, it was kind of a little dangerous thinking there.
Yeah. And, it's not just the fishing too. It's the sunrise and the sunset when you're out there spending the night offshore, and you just see things that 95% of the population has never seen before.
I would probably say more than that, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, there's 7 billion people on Earth.
Yeah.
I bet most people haven't been 150 miles offshore in that kind of situation. Maybe a cruise boat, or something, but not up close, feet dangling in the water, drinking a scotch. And
letting that salt water, man, that salt water is so good for your skin too.
Yeah, dude, that salt water is good for your skin. I heard that from somebody.
That's the rumor I keep hearing.
Yeah,
it's such an incredible experience. It was just like a phenomenon for me to have been out there and seen that, man. And I'm incredibly grateful that you allowed me that experience, man.
What did we catch? So, because those are 2 trips in a row, we caught a blue, Matt.
Yeah, we caught the 500-pound blue, and I've been meaning to talk to you about this. We'll come back to it in a minute, but we caught the blue marlin. You were out there flinging that spinning reel, catching mahi, and tuna off the front of the boat.
The broomstick.
Throwing the broomstick, man, that was crazy. That was such a fun time.
Yeah,
man.
that was wild that a broomstick, how even that broomstick came into the equation, and then what is this going to do? And then third cast, boom, 60-pound yellowfin. Holy shit, this thing works.
Yeah, we're doing that. We're catching. We had some sharks and culled through the sharks a little bit, but we trolled quite a bit. Like my highlight of the whole trip was just like I was just out there jigging for bait, dude. Like I had so much fun doing that, man. And yeah, it was just all around. It was incredible, dude.
Y'all caught some good tuna too while y'all were jigging for bait.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
We got up and just grinded at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I slept a little bit that second morning. I was pretty whipped, but
Well, yeah, y'all are driving the boat and captaining the whole time. I mean, for people like us that, aren't doing that, we have to put in the work and other, letting rods out. If we're not reeling in fish, catch bait and shit like that.
Here's how I feel about that. When it comes to things like that, and I kind of translate that into like what I do, like what my bread and butter is, and that's mainly waterfowl hunting. When I'm spending a lot of time out in the marsh and I'm taking people out there, I would rather be the one to do the work, to not necessarily, not to sound cocky, but to ensure the success in the ways that I know how, and take that off of somebody else and say, hey, look, I know what I'm doing out here. Here's how we're going to do it. You don't even worry about it. I'll handle it. Right. So for those types of things, when it comes to getting on a reel and knowing, when to reel, and instead of having somebody who's never done that and kind of gets into like a state of, oh my God, what do I do? You know what I mean? So like for those big time moments, you want to ensure the success of those moments and that you can land that fish, or that you can go out there and do what you set out to do. So if it takes, saying, all right, look, you guys just chill out. That was kind of the environment that we had, to ensure the success of the trip, that we were just kind of like, all right, you guys just hang out, chill out, enjoy yourselves. We got this. So for those other small things like, hey, we're jigging bait. You guys can, I was like, oh, I'm all about it.
yeah.
I'm all about it.
That fish put on a show for y'all too, that blue.
Oh, that was, if no one has seen that or is just now kind of following us, go back to our YouTube channel, Bayou Dragons. We have a YouTube channel and you can look at, how long's the video, Matt?
It's an incredibly long video, and I apologize for that. It's about a 45-minute video, but you'll be able to see on the bar, when the highlight points are of the video. But it was an incredible blue marlin catch. We leadered it up to the boat, got it, up close and personal. This just insanely large, fish. It was incredible, man. The colors, the action, and just the way that the interaction went between us and the fish and manipulating this giant beast right up next to the boat. It was incredible, man. It's something that the video does no justice for, but we did get some stellar footage. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was a good video too. So and now it's starting to get wintertime, Ryan. You're about to be going out. You have the Winter Wahoo Championship.
Yeah, that starts about January. We're starting to kind of get geared up for it, starting to get some of our lures in, get our stuff together for it. Looking forward to starting another year of fishing in January, and that's probably my favorite time of the year is go wahoo fishing.
Yeah, get done right with deer hunting and then go straight into that.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a good tournament year this year too. I mean, we killed a blue in the shootout, Lone Star Shootout in Port O'Connor, and man, we had a good Texas Legend showing. We went 2 for 7. We had some shit luck on a few fish. We should have won that tournament. Won a trophy for mahi. Got a little money for that, and pretty good year. So
good year. And then our trip that you and Mitch went on.
Oh yeah,
the biggest blue anybody's ever seen.
That looked incredible.
Yeah, that fish is. I still to this day go back and forth in my head. Should we put a gaff in her and weight her or not? 979 pounds is the state record, and that fish was there and then some, probably just by the measurement.
Yeah.
And 139 inches forked to lower jaw. That is a massive unit, and everything that you look at online says that's 1,000-pound fish.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you like? You have some regrets on that, or do you kind of? There's kind of a silver lining to it.
It's a
right?
catch-22, right? Okay, so I'm not in a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It's March. We were actually winter wahoo fishing, and the wahoo bite was shit. And we were like, let's go catch some blue marlin. So we went out and put out some baits and caught 2 of the biggest blue marlin we caught all year. But the catch-22 is, so this fish, if it wasn't 979 pounds and didn't break the state record, I'd have looked like a dickhead.
You just killed this.
Yeah, for no reason.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it's just let it go.
Yeah.
And hope we get repaid later on down the line, and we catch one when it counts.
Yeah. Well, and for as many people as we have that are dogging us for things, that's the conservation aspect of it. We have that respect, and You know, we're not out here just looking to kill and smash everything we can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like
no doubt.
deep respect for the fish and you know, any of the game species that we go and target.
Tell Ryan about that.
Sure.
The one we caught that we're pretty certain got caught again by that.
Yeah. So that's what I was, that's what I meant earlier whenever we were, I told you we looped back to it. So on a previous episode, we talked about it a little bit, but that fellow that we got the broomstick from, the Night Flight.
Yep.
Yeah, check him out on Instagram. The Night Flight, cool guy. He was out here and he was doing work out in the Gulf, and he had been watching. From what he says, he had been watching these marlin and you know the way that they were feeding, their feeding patterns, and he said that you know he had kind of tracked, you know, this marlin would come over in this area and chase the bait up, and you know he'd watch this one for a while, and then he'd see the other ones, and so he kind of had, I think he had like two or three blues out there that he was watching. And then, you know, the tournament fishers came out and, you know, the day after they had caught a marlin and, you know, brought it back in and killed it. And, you know, he started to see this fish isn't here anymore, but I'm still seeing these other two fish, right? And so from what I understand, going off of, you know, his posts and talking with him, because I messaged him back and forth, but the same marlin that we caught and released, somebody had come out, was tournament fishing, and caught and killed that fish and brought it in, and he was no longer seeing that fish. And it was crazy to me that that fish never got into our boat. We got into close proximity of this big blue marlin, but never, I don't think we put hands on it. We leadered it, we got it right up to the boat, but we didn't, what do you call that when they grab the bill and they have it alongside?
Well, you just grab. I mean, that's just grabbing the bill and getting you for a picture. We just cut it off.
Yeah, so we
didn't
cut
want to stress
off
it any more than
exactly.
what it was.
So we cut it off. You know, let that fish get released, and but that fish in particular, the same one we caught, the guys on the boat, Ryan, Captain Rob, you know, they're all out there and they were saying that's a 500-pound fish. 500 pounds. 500 pounds. They kept saying it all weekend. That was a 500-pound fish. And I'm like, how in the world do these guys know? Like, I'm thinking, okay, they do this a lot, they see this a lot, but there's no way they're that close, right? That fish, the same one that we caught, he made this big long post about it, and he said, you know, not Bayou Dragons, but the Wrapped Up came out here and caught this fish, released it, and then today, you know, these guys went and weighed it in. They sent him a picture, 497.
Yeah, that was high cotton. I was in that tournament. That was in Port O'Connor. We killed a fish during that tournament, and that fish knocked us into fourth place out of the money.
And they're saying, so what that guy was saying was that was the same marlin that we caught, because he had patterned and watched this fish, and then, you know, the day we caught it, he had you know, whatever, he saw the other two fish, and then that fish came back, and then after those guys caught, he was gone.
And very well could have been. You know, while we were out there too, I don't know if I ever told y'all this, but Robert and I were talking the whole time. He's like, hey, I'm marking 3 marlin off the back of this drill ship. He says, I've been over them all day. So I get up there and look, and it's 3 marlin marks. And if you look at a marlin on a bottom machine long enough, you know what they look like on a bottom machine, and there's 3 of them. Well, when we caught that fish, we were going over the mark of 3. We actually had 2 fish on during that bite. We had 2 separate marlin on. We ended up breaking the one off on a smaller rod to keep the one on the 80. So we had a 50 and an 80 out, and that's a class of reel, 50 class line versus 80 class line. So the one on the 50, we let it get off, and we stayed on the 80. And after we caught that fish, an hour or so later, we go back over that spot, and Robert calls me up from the bridge and goes, hey, look, 2 marlin marks. So one is gone now. So that fish that we pulled away from the rig and fought forever, she probably had to go down and chill, get in thermocline, get her stuff back with her, you know. So she wasn't there no more, but those other 2 were. So she probably came back in there after a day or 2 of chilling out, and no doubt ate another tuna. I know how high cotton fishes, they fish the same way we do, and they use a live tuna. So,
man, I wonder like about those things. Like it's that takes a knack for sure, and getting out there and seeing that, like, in being repetitive in that sport fishing, you know, offshore like that. It's a whole different ball game.
And it very well could have been different fish, but it's very coincidental that the same rig, the same style of fishing caught a 500-pound blue marlin a week after we caught ours.
The thing that blew my mind was that it was like I would like to think it was, right? Just for the sake of, like, holy shit, that's cool. And there's also, like, in my mind, there's data to back that up, right? Whether or not it's just some guy, you know, but there's there's somebody's out there that's watching that fish, and I'd like to believe that that's true. And to be within 3 pounds of what we expected it to be without putting it in the boat and weighing it, like that was
and
crazy.
not only watching, he's got video of those fish feeding.
Oh yeah,
all over his Instagram.
That dude goes nowhere without his phone,
Yeah.
and he videos everything. But no, and his reactions are crazy, man. It's so funny. But I want to say for the guys that are guys and gals or anybody that's watching and listening to our podcast, for anybody, I'm sure a lot of you guys do bass fishing and you'll follow these freshwater fishermen. The thing that what is the like the radar that y'all have on the boat? What did you call it?
Oh, it's an Omni. It's a Ferrino Omni.
Okay, so like that versus like any software that you have for like inshore bass fishing and all that, like live scope and all that, it's totally different.
Yeah.
It looks completely different. So looking at that versus like, you can throw a jig out in the front of your boat on a live scope and you can see your bait. Like it's that detailed. Whereas I looked at, and I've seen those, and like when I looked at the Omni on the wrapped up, it was like, I was like, what am I looking at, dude?
Yeah.
It like, if you don't know what you're looking at, like you have no idea.
Yeah. And not only that too, so unlike the freshwater live scope and everything else, the Omni, you actually have to control the tilt of the sonar head. So if I want to look down at 500 feet, I have to tilt the head, manually tilt the head. Or if I want to look at 250 foot of water, I have to tilt the head there, and you have to know what degree.
Kind of get in.
Yeah, I mean, it's
trying to target.
It's almost you could probably do a whole year of college on that deal if you really wanted to.
I bet the guys who designed that were like geniuses.
Yeah, and then you got a bunch of redneck fishermen learning how to use it. So
Yeah,
I mean,
got to be user friendly to an extent.
yeah, that's almost every bass fisherman too, though. Like using a live scope and how to run that. Most of the people, I'm like, does he even have a high school degree? But he can read the shit out of a damn.
No
Those
doubt.
are always the ones. That's always the ones, man.
No doubt.
That was incredible. I saw a live scope for the first time like probably like 8 months ago, and I thought it was incredible. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's unreal. It's unreal.
White perch fishing with it is game changer. You just. Oh,
I will say this though, that as much shit as people talk on people, and people are always going to talk shit, right? If you have, oh, you're working with better gear, so I'm going to talk shit, whatever. But if you have a live scope, doesn't matter. You still can't make a fish eat.
No.
So like no matter what, I was sitting over the top of, what I was seeing. It's like, there's some bass under here, and I'm putting it right in their face. Like I'm hitting them in the head with it, and they just don't want to eat. It doesn't matter. Like you can see what you're dealing with, and you can know if you're in, I want to target this area because I know there's fish here, but you can't make them eat.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the same. That and same with hunting.
Oh yeah.
And don't want to get into that whole debauchery too much. But Ryan, you've killed some pretty good deer so far this year.
Yeah.
For your season.
Yeah.
So your last not last whitetail, but you shot the biggest of your life this year.
Yeah, I did.
And what did that score?
377 inches.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Absolute monster.
Yeah, I've caught a lot of shit for that deer, it is what it is, man. I mean, it's the way I look at it with hunting and fishing. If I'm doing something legal and I'm enjoying the sport, if you have something to say about it, just shut your fucking mouth. I don't want to hear it. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything illegal. I'm out here enjoying myself. And you don't know anything about the backstory of that deer. You just see a picture online, you automatically assume something.
So I want to go ahead and before we, if we continue into this conversation, preface this by saying, if anybody, because like I said, we have caught some flack for these subjects, but if anybody wants to discuss these things further, we're more than happy to talk to you guys about it. We're not trying to hide anything, man. We love to go out and hunt and fish, and when these kinds of opportunities get presented to us, obviously we're going to take it and, do what we can to enjoy ourselves and to enjoy the resources and all that. If you guys want to talk about it, man, we're more than happy to talk about it. But, we're not just going to sit here and entertain shit talk. So that being said, just kind of clear the air a little bit.
Ryan sent me that picture. I think it was during the Rice Festival.
Yeah.
I was sitting there at the booth, and I just Ryan goes, "Hey, you want to see a little deer I killed?" And I was like, of course, this son of a bitch probably kills something. And he sent me that. I just literally just showed Mitchell my phone and goes, look at this.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Like,
it's a gorgeous deer, and it's
it had so much junk on it. How many drop tines did that son of a bitch have?
it had three drop tines.
Like, I was like, Jesus Christ.
That ranch is absolutely incredible ranch, and it's 2,100 acres. It's not like I'm in a 50-acre pen.
No.
And they've done their research, and they've obviously brought in good genetics and they feed them good minerals. And, you know, you hear people, oh, that deer was shot up with steroids. And I'm sitting there thinking, what the fuck does steroids have to do with bone growth?
Yeah. Muscle growth.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, whatever, you know. And no, they took a deer, they raised it on 2,100 acres. There's coyotes and everything else, and their mortality rate is huge on this place. They got a deer to grow to a size that is incredible because they took very good care. They were stewards of their land. They planted all kinds of extra food for them. They brought minerals in. They've brought protein and feed them corn and do everything they can do to get these deer to live their life, to grow to this potential.
Everybody does it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Most people don't have the opportunity to have the deer that they feed protein and corn and all that shit. They don't have a high fence ranch that they're on. I mean, 2,100 acres, they could be here one day and then they could be all the way across.
Yeah.
You might never see that damn deer again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh man, y'all just protein feed them. It's like, dude, I hunt low fence anywhere. I'm protein feeding all. I mean, everybody does it. You have the luck, like, you know, the opportunity to get to hunt that.
I think definitely too, there's something that gets passed on a lot whenever, especially just for like you post a picture of that one particular deer, then, you know, some people just in passing will define you by that one deer.
Yep.
You know, like that is not, we're passionate about this. We do this a lot, you know, and the opportunities that we have, obviously we're going to capitalize on whatever opportunities we have. For that instance in particular, you're not just like some guy who's just like, you know, oh, I'm going to just go and shoot this one big deer. Like you've been hunting your whole life.
Yeah.
Same way I've been hunting my whole life. Same way I know that you've had some incredible opportunities and gone out and busted your ass to go, you know, stalk through these mountains and valleys and go public land hunting and all that, you know. So for that opportunity to present itself, you know, in the midst of all of your other hunting, you know, it's another opportunity for you to say, hey, I'm going to go shoot a big deer.
I'm by no means trying to make it look like I'm sitting on public land shooting a 377-inch deer. I will tell everybody who asks me, I shot it on a high-fence ranch.
But what's funny is you also have a low fence lease.
Yeah.
Like a big lease that you do not shoot that kind of deer. And you shoot you might shoot a 120.
Yeah. Oh, if I shoot a 120 in Fredericksburg, Texas, I'm going to be posting that picture like it's a 377 in the high fence
like
ranch.
it's hot,
yeah, absolutely.
baby.
That's,
you know, I've shot, I was thinking on my way over here, I've shot deer on public land with my bow in 9 different states. And I've shot multiple deer with my bow in Montana on public land. I've been to the highest mountains in Montana and the lowest valleys in Montana, and I've been all over this country hunting deer. And that one deer,
packing out,
spending the night sleeping on the ground. Yeah. And that one deer posted on the internet has labeled me as a yuppie hunter.
Bro, somebody said the yuppie comment got me, man. That was good.
I was like, okay.
All right, buddy.
Cool story, bro.
Whatever.
But, you know, I mean, hey, I'll have an intelligent conversation with anybody any day of the week. If you're going to just spout bullshit, I ain't got time for you.
Well, like I said, it was a beautiful photo. I mean, the photo was good quality. It was a beautiful deer. You looked handsome as shit in it. I was like, I'm going to post this. I'm going to post this photo. You know, and it's starting to get now that it's been like 2 days of posted, like people are like, dude, I don't know why there's hate. I would do the same thing. It's a beautiful deer. What did it score? There's there's more people that enjoy like what, you know, hunting and actually know about that kind of stuff. I
guarantee you, if I called any one of those people who were talking shit and said, hey, you want to come to the ranch and shoot a deer with me, they would be hauling ass to get there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100% guarantee.
But it's whatever. Easy. We don't try to get into that too much about people hating. It's funny because like you are an avid deer hunter. Like you said, you've traveled all across the country doing it, like hardcore, way harder than I ever have, probably more than most people do.
Dude, I get home every day and I shoot my bow from 80 to 20 yards every day when I get home. I shoot 2 arrows at 80 all the way down to 20 yards, every 10-yard increment, every day when I get home.
You take the practice, you do the research, you spend the money to be able to go hunt these places, you know, getting tags out of state, all that shit. It's not cheap to travel to Montana and go shoot mule deer and whitetail and all that stuff. Or you've done Nevada, haven't you?
So I've done
not Nevada,
New Mexico,
Wyoming,
Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Kansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi.
That's a range right there, boys. All right, guys, quick break, and then we're back with some more. The Bayou Dragons podcast would like to thank Floyd Fabrication for sponsoring this podcast. Listen, guys, if you're starting a business, you want to get some prints, you want to get some hats, you want to get some canvases, whatever your need is, Floyd Fabrication's got you covered. Ben Floyd down there in Florida is a real great guy, great friend of the podcast. He has taken care of us in every regard possible. If you guys want quality prints, you want quality shirts, you want quality hats, Floyd Fabrication's got you covered. Check him out on Instagram. Check him out on Facebook. That's Floyd Fabrication.
Red Bull energy drinks. You see the commercials? They say they give you wings. For us, they help us when we're in the marsh, when the deer blind. We're trying to complete orders at the shop. Start my morning out with a Red Bull. Finish my evenings out with a Red Bull. They have a lot of B12. Yep, I'm growing wings. So all these places, Ryan, that you've hunted, where would you say the prettiest place is? Like that you've bow hunted or rifle hunted, wherever?
No, 100% Montana.
Montana?
Yeah, I mean, that's I love Montana. If I didn't live in Texas, I'd live in Montana.
What about Colorado? You ever done any hunting in Colorado?
I have been to Colorado hunting, and I probably won't go back.
Really? Why not?
I can do the same thing with a lot less elevation in Montana with a lot less competition.
Yeah, I'd imagine. And Colorado being pretty centralized, Montana's way up there. Colorado, a lot of people can make it there a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pumpkin patch is what I experienced the time that I went. And I've been to Montana enough now that I know where I can get on some public land and get away from everybody and still shoot good elk and good mule deer.
So
and
that's where you've killed your elk is in Montana?
Yep, Montana.
And what's your biggest elk so far?
About 300, right under like 290 and some change. Nothing giant.
Yeah,
but
it's still a great bull.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he called him in. A boy from Southeast Texas went up to Montana and called in an elk. And it's one of those dream things that I always wanted to do when I was a kid. You know, I used to watch the hunting shows and be like, man, one day I'm going to do that. And I went and did it.
That's why you take no shit, man. You got to be proud about that.
Yeah.
I would definitely be really proud if I was able to go and have an opportunity like that and make it happen. You know, like you said, boy from Southeast Texas, man, that is so foreign to us. And, you know, you gotta do your due diligence and go and do shit like that.
Absolutely.
Did you kill pronghorn up there too, or did you do that in Wyoming?
So I've killed pronghorn in Wyoming and New Mexico.
And that's a whole different.
That's a whole different animal.
They run 75 and
it's so fun, especially bow hunting them. We typically decoy them, so we want to make the buck think that we're another buck, and we use a decoy to essentially piss him off and make him charge you. And then you wait till the last second, drop the decoy, and he's like, "Oh shit!" and he stops. And then that split second, you try to put an arrow in him.
And did they ever not stop?
I have never held decoy long enough to find out.
What if you did? That'd be some crazy shit, man. You just take a pronghorn right to the chest.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be wild.
I've seen them in I'm hunting in Montana last year. I saw a bunch, you know, just hanging out by the edge of the highway. I'm like,
yeah.
I heard
so easy to kill you.
I heard a statistic a while back that in some states they outnumber the population.
So that's Wyoming. Yes, there's more pronghorn than there's human beings in Wyoming, and I can attest to that. I've actually Doug Morrison, and when he was up in North Dakota working, that's how I met Colby Epperson. They brought me pronghorn hunting for the first time in Wyoming. We actually rifle hunted, and we killed 3 beautiful bucks on public land and walked forever. Got lost in the hills of Wyoming, around KC, Wyoming. Actually, we were right next to Chris Ledoux's ranch, is where we ended up getting lost.
Oh, that old Cadillac ranch?
Yeah, yeah, man. And yeah, I think we finally made it back to the truck at about 3 a.m. And the only reason we even knew where the truck was, our GPS died. We had one pack with 3 dead ass antelope trying to pack them out, and
get them out before they spoil.
I got up on a high enough hill to where I could see the truck silhouetted in the moonlight shining, and I was like, the truck is that way. And I just kind of got a radio tower that was kind of close to in line with the truck, and we just walked towards the radio tower till we got out of there.
That's got to be a little bit worrisome.
Oh, that's
shit
the
in
same.
Your pants, man.
That's the. I don't know if you've ever heard this story, Porter, but that's the same time that Doug tried to kill Colby and I by leaving the door of the Motel 6 hotel room open during a blizzard, and I woke up and there was a foot of snow in the hotel room. with us.
Why did he do that? He
How did you
blacked
not
out?
know?
No, so Colby snores really bad.
Yes.
Doug couldn't handle it. So he went to go sleep in the truck, didn't tell us. I woke up in the middle of the night, teeth chattering, mind you. Of course, a boy from Southeast Texas, I'm not used to being cold.
Well, no, it's October right now.
And I
It's
roll
getting
over, and the motel room door is wide open, and there is a snowbank in the motel room with us, and Doug and the dog are gone. So I wake up Colby, and I was like, your dog's gone, and Doug's gone. And he's like, oh, my God, Mo. He doesn't even give a shit about Doug. He's like, Mo, where's my Mo? Where's Mo? It's a black lab. And we ended up finding Doug and Mo cuddled up together in the truck in the parking lot.
Yeah, he knew. He took that dog with him for warmth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that was you and Doug, and who else was it?
Colby Epperson, yeah.
Colby Epperson. That's Doug Morrison on Instagram and OnlyFans if you want to go subscribe.
Yeah. You said Colby's coming down this weekend.
Yeah, he's going to start his drive from North Dakota tomorrow, and he's going to meet me in Fredericksburg, and we're going to go shoot some of them 100-inch low-fence deer.
Yeah,
Come
man.
on.
Hey, send me some photos so I can post them and people can talk shit on
Yeah.
them. You,
Love it, man.
Colby's in North Dakota, and the group, one of the guys that we're hunting with next month in Montana, he just got up to North Dakota. What's today? Was today Sunday? So he got up there Saturday.
So Colby yesterday sent me a bunch of pictures of a whole pile of snows on a field up there. So the snow geese are showing up in North Dakota. You know,
He said it's not. He said there's some ducks. They're probably going to end up shooting, just an assortment. They're not going to be just shooting straight mallards and shit like they will be next month. But I messaged them today. They're just doing some scouting, and they'll be there another 11 days. Yeah. So I'm sure they're going to end up whacking on some birds.
And that's the guy you're going to Montana with later?
Yeah.
Y'all were in Montana last year when I was in Montana.
Yeah, you were like I
was like maybe 45 minutes from now.
South.
You missed opportunity there.
Well,
he was over here shooting stud mule deer on public land, and we were just waxing graders' asses.
And that was the toughest year I've ever had in Montana for deer. They had a drought, and it was just low deer numbers. It took me 5 days to find a deer to even remotely think about shooting.
Yeah, there was a drought because we drove all the way up to like Medicine Lake, which is right there, like close to the Canada border, and there was literally just a puddle of water in the whole lake. I was like,
you said Medicine?
Basically called Medicine Lake.
Yeah. Did you go up to Fort Peck? Did y'all see all that up there?
Man, I cannot remember. We might have. We did. We drove a lot. Like we drove all the way to the border and then went west. Came back south. Like we probably drove.
Oh, y'all made the loop then.
We did a whole loop. Then we went probably we almost went all the way down to where you were south, just checking shit out, and we ended up just staying where we were, and did great.
I'll tell you this, man. When you go up there and you put in the work to go and find birds, that fuel cost is no joke.
Oh, man. I mean, birds, deer, anything. God, I mean, I spend hours of windshield time looking for deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did, we went last year up into Oklahoma, and it's kind of zigzagged across the whole state. Everybody was complaining. I talked to some people who, not natives, guys from around here who make the trip, and there ain't no birds, everything's dry. And so we were like, man, we're going to do it. We're going to go find birds. We're going to smash them. And, dude, I want to say 5 of us. We probably spent 500 people. I mean, we spent upwards of $2,000 in fuel just zigzagging across the whole state. I mean, we even worked our way up into Kansas just trying to find birds. I mean, it was like we were not going to go up there and not have success. Yeah. Like we would not tolerate it. It was incredible to the point where we were like driving out of places and being like, all right, let's take the drones up. Let's figure it out,
And it's a drought year again this year, so it's going to be one of those deals.
We'll figure it out. It might take an extra day of scouting, but there'll be birds somewhere. Yeah. But so you don't have no big trips for any 4-legged animals this year. I mean,
no, not really. I mean, I'm going to focus on Fredericksburg. We got a bunch of deer to shoot off that ranch, conservation wise, with TP Texas Parks and Wildlife gave us an allotment this year on there. So
yeah, I'm looking super forward to that trip. We'll be going with old Captain Ryan Warhola down in December for a weekend and just have a good time. You have deer. You've been sending us photos almost every day of deer, pigs, turkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Man, he's getting me in hot water with the wife. I'm drooling over my phone. She's like, what are you looking at? And it's a picture of a freaking camera that Ryan's got out on his lease, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Yep. That's when you just lie. It's like Pornhub. Like,
Yeah,
No,
man, I don't know, but I'm super excited about it. Like I was telling these guys, I haven't filled a whitetail tag in years. It's been a long time, man. So I'm jacked.
That place
Definitely
is
jacked.
I love going there and hunting, and I'm a big bow hunter. That's what I like to do. And when I go there, I know I'm going to see deer, and I know I'm going to see decent deer. I mean, I'm not going to shoot any. If I shoot a 140 there, yeah, I'm a guarantee you it's going to be on the hood of my truck, because there's just little small body sized deer. I mean, it's hill country deer. It's almost like a coos deer, really, is what I would equate it to.
yeah.
You shoot coos deer?
I have not. I want to, but then I also have Fredericksburg, and you might as well call that a coos deer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're a big buck there is 120 pounds, maybe.
I think if you look at it that way and you just equate the deer to the deer and not like the experience versus the experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I know. I mean, I'm when I'm there, I'm not expecting to shoot a giant 160 plus inch deer. I'm looking for 100 to 120 inch deer, and if I find a buck that's in that category and I hunt him and actually get him on the ground with my bow, that is a huge accomplishment for that area, and that's how I kind of base my hunting. When I go to Nebraska mule deer hunting, I know I'm going to shoot a 140 inch mule deer. I'm not going to shoot a 200 inch mule deer.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
And I just meant that in a way of like, do you want to go and hunt a whitetail as opposed to going out and walking and packing out, stuff like that. I've never done it. I really want to do it.
So I will, when I'm at the ranch in Fredericksburg by myself, I won't sit in the blind. I will actually go spot and stalk and do like I do in Montana, because I love that style of hunting. I love the thrill and the challenge of finding a deer, either putting him in his bed or finding which direction he's feeding or moving and try to get in front of him and put an arrow in him.
It's there's an artwork to it.
That's that's a primal way of doing it, man. Like that's something that I have a big desire to go and do. I've made some really cool connections and some good friends that go, and I mean, they like, that's the way, the same way that we've been brought up to hunt. That's the way they've been brought up to hunt. That's all they know. And they're very good at it. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, that, I would love to go and have that experience. Good friend of mine I met in Dallas. We had him on the podcast, man. Great guy. He's spotting stalks, and I mean, he's in the mountains right now. He's been, when season starts, from start to finish, he's in the mountains, whether or not it's him, getting to harvest something or him bringing somebody else, Yeah,
that's the guy from Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The big thing about that kind of hunting is good glass, good binoculars, good spot and scope. You're using your eyes more than anything. You're not relying on them to come to a feeder like we're used to in Texas. So you have to actually spot the animal before it even comes into anything that you're looking for, right? And it's a cool way to hunt.
Oh, dude, yeah, we talked about that, and I was like, I really want to do this. Like, what do I need? I've got time. Like, we're going to come up. We're working on trying to get up there with him next year, kind of with the way work is and, having to plan trips and all that and take time off. And so I was like, man, I definitely want to come out and just get the opportunity to hang out and see how you live and how things are out there. And I'm like, what do I need? And he's like, oh, if you got optics. So he's like, we pretty much got everything, but if you want to look into it, get some Swarovskis. And I was like, yeah, okay. Looked them up. I was like, yeah, I'll go buy a pair.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, they are cheap.
Your wife, Ryan, has killed some deer this year already too, huh?
Yeah, she actually just shot a axis and a big whitetail.
What did her whitetail score? It was a pretty solid one.
219 inches.
219.
Yeah.
That's a stud. And that axis was not small
good,
either.
Good axis, 30-inch axis. So
yeah, that's some good beams on it. Yeah, you sent me that, and I was like, oh, we're all just on them. Just steadily on them.
Yep.
But I am looking forward, because I used to do a lot I had a lease in West Texas for a long time, and I love just that type of hunting. So when you offered up to go to Fredericksburg, I was like, that's perfect. This is what I grew up doing, hunting West Texas. I didn't hunt Southeast Texas growing up. I have, a little bit. I used to hunt South Texas, which is a whole different animal. It's like you're saying, you go for the class of deer in what area you are. So like a 120 in West Texas, that's like a 160 down south,
Yeah, exactly.
And I've killed both. I've killed 120s. I've killed 155s, 8 point,
Yeah. Yeah. And I hang on to Fredericksburg too, because obviously I have young boys. They're going to grow up hunting deer there. That's a perfect place to start them with, too. But it's like bringing guys like y'all with me. It's a vibe up there. I mean, you get in the hill country. It's beautiful. Man. Stars, campfire, oak trees.
Have the pit rolling the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to have
out of like the humid climate too. It's nice and dry. It's like comfortable, man. It's a good place.
And it's in wine country, which
boy.
Yeah. A couple bottles of wine, maybe some good whiskey. Garrison Brothers is right there.
Come on.
Get the fire going, put a brisket on or ribs or just enjoying life.
Yeah. Porter goes up there and drinks the town dry when he goes up to wine country.
What's going to be funny, y'all are going to be like, everybody's going to get back in. Y'all all, got y'all's deer. You're like, where the fuck's Porter at? And I'm just sitting over there at, Augusta Ven, drinking on a Malbec Reserve. Like,
Bit old Grape Creek.
Yeah, I'm sitting at Grape Creek while y'all are hunting. This is like, man, I'll get over there later.
Yeah. No, we're about 8 miles north of town. It's very nice.
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
Town with a lot of German heritage.
Oh, yeah, man. Some of the best restaurants, too. Gosh, there's such good food there.
Not a lot bad you can say about Fredericksburg, dude. It's a great place to be.
Well, it's our version of Napa Valley, except German.
Yeah.
And like you have like Auslanders and what's that other German restaurant? That
Otto's.
Yeah. Both of them.
That Faux Gras at Otto's. Faux Gras or whatever it's called. I don't know how to say it right.
I'll call it foie gras.
Yeah.
Foie gras.
Yeah.
That's been our ongoing joke since me, Doug, Cole went to South Carolina, and then every year, like since then, we try to find a restaurant that sells a good foie gras.
What is it?
It's goose liver.
Yeah. Oh, goose liver?
Yeah.
Liver King approved?
Yeah.
Bro.
It's good, man.
I'm telling you.
It's good.
I'm looking forward. I'm going to try to figure out how to make, I call it foie gras. I don't know, like you're saying, I don't know how to actually pronounce it.
I'm pretty sure they're not getting them from a snow goose, though, Porter.
No, I'm going to try to get a Greater Canada, and I'm going to see if I can make some foie gras with it.
Like it's farm goose. It's got to be something marketable. Yeah. Imagine dude, we could probably bring home a pile of liver.
Bro, I mean,
I imagine those birds have some pretty big livers.
They do. Those Greater Canada geese have a damn liver on them like that.
I'm all about it, dude. Like
I just need to learn how to actually make it.
Yeah, I will eat everything off of a bird or whatever I harvest that I can. I've transitioned into that over the past year or so. It's like trying to eat everything that I can off of whatever I harvest.
Yeah, feathers and all.
Dude, the hearts are good. My favorite is the legs, the mallards and goose. I mean, you take them. I brine them in a little liquid smoke and brown sugar for about 2 days, and then I batter them up and fry them. Oh, they're phenomenal.
Yeah, I do. You said feathers. I've eaten feathers recently. I'm not shitting you. Early teal season, we brought home a lot of birds, and I had a lot of pin feathers, and I was just getting annoyed. Like I got to a point I was picking them with tweezers, dude. I was like, this is bullshit. There's way too many, so I just left them on. And
it seemed like a lot of young birds this year during teal season.
Yeah, man. It is what it is. We kind of tracked the flight, and, the green wings started coming down. It was like, all right, we're kind of wrapping up, see what's going on. But a lot of young birds. I agree. The juvies kind of maintained throughout the entire flight. And, but yeah, a lot of, I ate some pin feathers. I ate some pin feathers, man.
You're saying hearts, the hearts and the hearts and the gizzards are, I take them out of every bird I kill because that is the best part of a gumbo.
Oh,
just strictly that in a gumbo.
So I've been, Cable Smith posted on his Instagram about dove hearts. And he uses some sweet and spicy. I always use the HEB sweet and spicy that they sell seasoning and puts them on the Traeger and smokes them. I was like, oh, man, I don't know. I'll try it. My 4-year-old likes them more than I do, I think. He loves them. He's like, Daddy, we have some dove heart today.
Well, I always wondered about that because, you can kill doves in greater volumes than anything else, but they're small. Those dove hearts are small.
They're tiny. They're an inch maybe, if that, and put about 4 or 5 of them on a toothpick and put it on a smoker, and it's phenomenal.
I imagine that's about like crawfish is around here. It's a little bitty piece, but the payoff is huge. Everybody loves it, It's a crowd pleaser. I cooked some waterfowl for everybody over here. We had Matt Baker with Snuff Cup down here, not too long ago, and he's never waterfowl hunted in the way that we do, and had the opportunity to eat that kind of stuff, and like even over the years, a lot of people that I hunt with on the regular don't like eating waterfowl, and they don't know how to prepare it. It's really gamey. I'll give them that. It takes a little bit of takes a little bit of time and some work to do. And, man, I cooked some teal, and, dude, I fed it to the wives, which was the real test. I cooked these birds, and, I was like, hey, you guys have at it, And the wives was the big test. They were like, oh, I think Mitchell's wife was like, oh, this tastes like a Rudy's pork kebab. And I was like, I've done it. I have achieved greatness. This is it. I'm done. Like this made it for me. Everybody loved it, man. And so there's ways of preparing that stuff, that you can please everybody, man. It's fantastic. I continue to do that. I made some the other night that were absolutely bomb, dude.
I think that's my favorite thing about being big into hunting and fishing is the table fare that comes along with it, and learning how to master wild game cooking. And there's a lot of guys who you can get on Instagram and get good recipes from, and it's not hard.
Yeah, that's what I am looking forward to, this Fredericksburg trip, not just for the hunting aspect, but we're going to be getting a lot of footage, and I want to do some kill, clean, cook. Like, we can do that shit with you, between turkey, pig, deer. I don't know if there's any, like, birds, like dove or anything up there that you really hunt or not, but...
Yeah, so, there's no quail. I wish there was, but there's a lot of turkeys. And one of my favorite breakfasts in the world is deep fried turkey breast and gravy with some eggs.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've always heard that, like, a wild Rio Grande turkey is not, like, a very good bird to eat. But I have heard, the same thing about the birds that I've been cooking and preparing for people, and I think that probably goes in the same way if you prepare it the right way.
It's how you knowing how to cook it right.
Yeah. That stretches even farther than just cooking it. If somebody just gives you a slab of meat and says, cook it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that starts, after you harvest that bird.
Yep, absolutely.
Right then and there. The way that you clean the bird, what you leave on the bird, how you manage, like whether or not you, like you said, you leave the legs on. You like to leave legs on your waterfowl, leaving the skin on, the fat, and all those different things, like. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't like ducks. I'm like, well, how'd you clean them? They just slice the breast right off of them. Straight meat, super lean, no fat, no nothing. It gets real gamey.
Cook it till it's well.
Yeah, and then they throw it in a Ziploc with nothing in it in the freezer and expect it to be fine. Yeah. Like, there's steps you take, man. Yep. Like, you got to.
You could take a mallard breast, skin it out, leave the skin on one side, take it, brine it, pat it dry, put some good seasoning on it, and sear it rare, and people will think it's beef.
I had a hard time differentiating. Literally, I'm saying teal because this is just the most recent thing that we've had access to is teal in the waterfowl aspect. But those ones I cooked the other day before I came over and cooked for everybody else, it tastes like a steak. Beef. It had a full-on beef profile. Yeah, it was just fresh. Cycled the water, let the blood run out, and kept it in the fridge. Cycled the water, marinated it very briefly, probably 30, 45 minutes, and then seasoned and thrown on the smoker.
Yep. Bro,
fantastic.
I made a badass gumbo the other day. I say it was badass because I cooked it for all my coworkers at work, and when I got done, it was like one of those deals where they're unbuttoning their pants because they're on their third or fourth bowl, and they're like son of a bitch.
What you put in this shit?
Well, they're like, what is this? And I was like, well, I put 6 full-blown Greater Canada Goose breasts, cut them up. I did the hearts, and then I did like 7 links of deer sausage, cooked it down, let it simmer for like 3.5 hours, after the fact. And they were just eating that shit up. They ate it for 2 days straight. And I'm talking when they got done, there was like, they were crumbling crackers in the juice just at the bottom and was eating it with a spoon. Yep. I was like, hell yeah.
You didn't tell them that, we got a drug test surprise on Monday. I put crack in the goose gumbo.
By the way, there's crack in there. That's why it's so good.
Oh, man. It's addicting.
One of the things I'm going to do for y'all when y'all are in Fredericksburg is we're going to take a whitetail heart, clean it up. We're going to put it in molasses and let it marinate for 2 days, and we're going to smoke it and slice it thin, put it on some crackers. Unbelievably good.
I'm looking. Dude.
What's the texture like on a heart? I've never eaten a whitetail heart.
It's like eating. Have you ever had liver?
Yeah,
it's like eating liver. It's organ meat, but it's when you put that molasses on, it starts breaking it down, it makes it a little bit softer, and then smoking it. Obviously, it's unbelievably good. So we might buy some of that fine cheese from Fredericksburg and put it on there with it.
And they got a jam shop right there on Main Street. Whatever that Main Street is, dude. Yeah. I go in that jam shop. I buy jars, dude.
Yeah, that place is awesome.
I buy jars. I get like I probably leave there every time with about 5 jars, like the big jars.
Was that Fisher and Weiser? Or
I
is
think
that,
so.
yeah, then you got
the
Russell
one-
and Rob's
yeah,
also.
dude,
yeah.
You walk in there, bro. They have like walls, like with like 5 shelves, and it's just jam on every single
that's
wall
Fisher
around
and
the
Weiser,
entire
yeah.
place. Oh golly,
Dude, I'm
buy you a block of cream cheese, put that thing on there.
That's gonna be cool. We're gonna have some good between the GoPro footage. We got Tacticams now. We're gonna have camera footage. We're gonna have phone footage. We'll be vlogging, and we'll do a podcast up in Fredericksburg also.
Yeah.
You know, during that time.
I think I'm gonna have to film Matt shooting one with his bow too.
Yeah, we definitely.
That's gonna be. I hope I get the opportunity.
Oh, you'll have the opportunity. It's if you capitalize on the opportunity.
I'm
is
already
the question.
shaking just thinking about it.
Dude, I want you to get him, and I want to sit down and film, or you, whichever. Tanner has never killed a deer.
Yeah.
Get his first deer and his first reaction.
Oh yeah,
that's-
that's gonna be really cool.
It's ultimate,
I'm excited about that.
ultimate opportunity for that. For Tanner having not shot a whitetail, for us being in the position that we are to film that, like that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
He'll be able to show Evan, hey, this is when I shot my first whitetail, and it's a
Yeah.
video that you and I filmed for him or something like that.
I've been a part of a few people's first deer, and it's like, dude, it's way cooler than when you shot one.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, dude, they're pumped, especially like a kid. Not saying Tanner's a kid, but I've taken some kids hunting before, and they shoot a deer, and they're like, just excited.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I could go and shoot a like a whitetail doe, and I'm still like,
Oh, that's
I'm
me.
still shaking.
That's me. I get excited over anything I shoot. I shake now. I shake more after than before. When I was younger, I shook before, but now I finally learned how to breathe and keep myself calm. And then after the shot, I fall completely apart. And it doesn't matter if it's a 377 or a 87.
Well, there's the art to it, right?
Yeah, it's
you get past the point, and you're like, okay, I can let it all out.
Yeah, absolutely. But
If you lose that feeling in hunting, then you might as well not do it.
well, that's like the last podcast I was on. That's exactly when we talked about that last time. If you quit getting excited, you don't need to be doing it anymore.
Yeah. Dude, I get excited for deer when a duck does it right and they land in the decoys, or they just float down and get next to your silhouettes, or just really anything wild game. I mean, just when I cast up on the bank underneath the log, and I just feel that
I wish we could have a
rock hard.
like a first person camera, like on the videos that we do when like birds are working in, like we have the spread and all that. And you guys will see that on YouTube here before long. But I wish we could have like a first person cam of like the look in your eye.
Yeah.
Like just you could literally see like if you had every single person, we'd all be looking like this.
And that's kind of my hunting is starting to transition more towards getting more people that I'm close to involved with it, and bringing them and showing them, hey, this is the piece of property that I'm a steward of, and this is where I hunt, and I want you to come enjoy it. And I want to see you enjoy yourself on some property that I've taken care of for the last couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, you have the means to do it. I mean, that's what I would do too, because that's just sharing the wealth and people experiencing shit. Like the when Tanner goes up there, dude, he's gonna be tickled pink the whole time.
Oh yeah, I mean this weekend I've got a buddy of mine, a real close friend of mine. We grew up fishing together. And his son, they're on a lease in West Texas, and they won't let his son bow hunt. And I said, he's 15 years old. He's old enough to bow hunt as long as he's consistently accurate on a target. Bring him to my place. He can shoot whatever he wants to. Yeah. I want to see him enjoy himself, kill his first bow kill.
Hell yeah, that'll be dope. Try to get that on film.
Oh, I plan to.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Put that on the.
Man, I can't wait. I'm gonna have cameras strapped up on every angle. Porter's gonna go into the bathroom to go take a shit. I'm gonna have a camera in there.
Hell yeah,
I'm getting everything, boy. I'm getting everything.
I'll vlog it. Man, we had a big pot of beans yesterday. This is how we feel today.
I'm jacked about it, dude. I love that. I love catching the experience, and more so for myself and for you guys to be able to share that with y'all. Like you said something on a video. Actually, I showed you a video earlier we did of like some teal season bloopers, and you were like, yeah, if we kill a duck, that's just extra, man.
Yeah,
that's extra. I love getting to see everybody enjoy themselves and have that experience. And if we have success and like all that,
I think that's
extra, man.
I think that's gonna be a funny deal that we do is just hunting bloopers. Doesn't even have to be a certain type of hunting, but like I threw on my waders first day of teal season. I had dirt dauber nest. Like I'm just like, what the fuck?
That's the thing about hunting, and the kill is the smallest portion of the whole entire experience. That's so minute compared to everything else that goes into it.
Yeah. We had that I was kind of running through. I showed him that video I was working on. I was just kind of like laying in bed last night, and was like, I'm gonna throw this video together. I had some footage, and it was like the blind footage was the best part. Like the part I wanted to showcase. Tanner's over there, hung over, sitting in the blind, like still out there. We got out there at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Tanner's just trooping it out. Porter's got that teal call right in his face, just kind of.
I'm laughing so hard I can't even
dude,
blow a call. I'm just screeching it in his ear.
Those are the moments that like I tell people about. Like, dude, you would have had to have been there, and to be able to capture that and share that with people is freaking awesome, man.
Absolutely,
it's so much fun.
So I know one thing that a lot of people have been asking whenever we were like posting that we were at Gator Fest and Rice Fest and Texas Trophy Hunters is that like they're like, dude, you need to come up to Alabama or down to Florida or Minnesota, like do these shows. And me and Matt have been working on basically a whole list. Like right now we have like 20 shows that we want to do next year. And I think it's 9 or 10 different states. So if anyone that is, been following us and listens to the podcast and stuff, at the January, we'll have everything lined out and we will be posting where we'll be, what the dates are, do some meet and greet kind of stuff. And
yeah, you guys have been really good about being vocal in the comments on YouTube. If you're in those states, man, you think of anything you guys got going on, any shows that we could kind of come out to and just hang out, let our presence be known, jump in the comments, man. Let us know. We would love to hear it. We're open to new opportunities. So that being said, yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure we'll do some stuff next year too with old Ryan Warhola.
Yeah.
Bring some snapper slapper lures to a show and be like, look, I know we're in Missouri and there's no snapper around, but you can catch pike with it.
Yeah.
We're going to have
Walleye.
a definitive list of what you can catch with snapper slapper.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm going to only fish with that in the spring just so I can like try to catch everything. Like win a tournament just fishing with snapper.
I really want to get a group of guys together and go to Alaska and go bottom fishing with them for like 4 or 5 days.
Dude, that'd be
and
dope.
just get some really good content.
Well, man, you're friends with some guys that can get some really good content. There's like 4 of us. So.
Yeah.
We try our best, man. We do our best.
Yeah, we'll go catch halibut and whatever the hell else they have in Alaska.
It only gets better from here, I can assure you.
Yeah, there's some really cool trips we got planned this year. We got to knock out a few, but we will start, doing a lot more documentation with everything. Yeah. Like our big trip Montana's coming up in soon, Matt. What? Less than a month.
Yeah. There has been like I want to say a lack of content, right? But we still haven't really made the move into content as far as like documenting our hunts really well. So the reason I feel like there's a lack of content is because we're trying to present the best, videos and things that we possibly can. So if I go through and I film a hunt and I feel like that's not good enough, like I don't really have the footage I want to present. It kind of looks like shit. Like I'm not going to throw that out there, So we're going to get it right. We're going to keep working on it. And, we're just a bunch of guys, man. We're just like you guys. Anybody that's out there listening or watching, we're just like y'all, man. We're just trying to figure it out.
It's that old adage, quality over quantity.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the idea that we've taken into, all of our presentation on social media. It's a little bit different when you're trying to string together a lot of footage, though.
Yeah.
It's easy to go through and say, all right, I'm going to put a 10-second video together. I can get quality for 10 seconds. Like no matter what we're doing, I can get quality for 10 seconds. But when you go into it and you're like, all right, I got to make a full production. It's a little bit different, but we're getting there, man. And it's coming along good. And I'm proud of the progress that we've made, man. Yeah. I think it's going great.
Well, it all takes a while. And just getting the gear that we have now, we've been slowly buying good shit. We went from, taking stuff on an iPhone camera to now we're running 2 cameras. We have drones. We have Tacticams. We have, we're putting in the money to be able to put some good shit out for y'all. So
we've really been really reserved in that regard too. Like we're more focused on getting out like our merch and stuff like that. And so a lot of the money has been delegated towards like going back into the business and we have spent quite a bit of money on the content side of it, but like I said, we still have been pretty preserved on that. So it'll get there, man. I'm excited about it. I'm freaking jacked about it, honestly. If I'm being honest, like God, the ceiling is so high. Like I'm just really excited to share the experiences and be able to get the kind of content that, like, I would just like. I've watched some of our videos, like the sequence where we caught the marlin.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm super proud of that. The fact that it was in a 45-minute video is kind of like, it kind of takes away from it a little bit, but it's still out there. It's still out there, and man, I'm freaking proud of that. That was awesome.
I mean,
you start.
But that whole video, that 45 minutes isn't 45 minutes of shit. It's 45 minutes of very good video, and you had to tell the story getting up to that marlin.
Yeah, I feel like for the average viewer, you kind of have to scrunch it down.
Yeah.
And I was not okay with that.
I got you.
For me, that was an experience, you know. So I want to, and I'm not saying like you're the average viewer, like you understand and you appreciate that. But, you know, for people who are just stopping by, they're like, fuck, I'm not going to watch a 45-minute video.
Yeah.
You know, so it's pick your poison. Do you want the views or do you want to put out something you're proud of? And for that, I couldn't compromise. I was like, man, I'm getting everything that I can of this experience into this video, 45 minutes or not, like it's going out there, man, because that was unreal. And so I mean, it could have been even longer too.
Oh, yeah, you
like
still
it could have been even longer. I was like, man, like
we'll be able to make some more clips with just more of the stuff that you didn't post a lot of stuff from that trip.
Yeah, that's hiding on my hard drive right now. It's coming. It's going to come
camping out.
Oh,
Start doing more reels and stuff like that on YouTube.
So, guys, I on Tuesday, I got my wisdom teeth pulled out, and a little bit of dinner just came out of one of my teeth holes.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Second breakfast.
So
I like to call that.
Matthew has 2 gaping holes, and right before we started this podcast, we ate a damn 1-pound ribeye with asparagus and macaroni and cheese.
Very good.
My first solid meal in a week. And I promise you, I'm going to pay for it tomorrow, man. Been eating soup and like protein shakes and all that shit, dude. Oh, it sucked. It's not been good. I've been on that liquid diet, boy.
Matt was like, he goes, dude, look at my mouth, and like pulled his gums back, like his mouth back. Ugh. Dude,
it's
and
not good.
There's 2 holes just gaping with just food packed into it. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Dude,
it really is. It's not cool.
So lucky on my wisdom teeth. You know, obviously they came in, but my dentist was like, Ryan, they're not bothering you. We're not going to pull them. Like, okay, they're not bothering me. So
that's me too. I still got all mine, and that's my uncle's. My dentist goes, they hurt? I'm like, no. He's like, you're good.
yeah, that's what mine was.
Same with
You didn't pull yours, Ryan?
No, I'm damn near 40. I still got them.
Oh, man. So, look, I went before my wedding. My wife was like, babe, you need to go get your teeth cleaned. And I was like, all right, thanks. You know, appreciate that. Gave me a little self-conscious a little bit about that. But so I went to the dentist, and, you know, I got my teeth cleaned and all that. And they did x-rays. They were like you going to get your wisdom teeth pulled? And I was like, I didn't plan on it. They're not bothering me. They're like, you need to get them pulled, man. Like, they showed me the x-rays, and they were like, they're what they call impacted, right? Mm-hmm. So my molars in the back are growing pretty much just straight out of the gums. My wisdom teeth were growing at like a 90-degree angle into my molars. And they were like, you need to get these pulled. They're going to cause you problems. They're going to wear away your back teeth. And I was like, okay, whatever. And they weren't bothering me, so I just didn't even give a shit. Got married and yada yada, and 8 months go by. I'm cool. Didn't even think about it. Then they started hurting. I was like, fuck. So I made an appointment to go get them removed. Dude, and they pulled them out. All 4 of them were like, they had to cut them out. Like it was, yeah, whatever. So I came out of the surgery. I felt good, dude. That day I was fucking in some pain, and it sucked. When I got home that day, it was a real bad day. And then, but, you know, after that, you know, the pain was fine. I managed through the next couple of days, but I just couldn't eat any food. And, yeah, now I just have these big, giant, gaping holes in the back of my mouth. And anytime I try to eat anything, food gets in there. It's just not good, man. I took some, like, tweezers and, like, tried to get food out the other day. And I, like, jammed myself in the gum and, like, just made me want to cry. So I'm just okay with it now. It's just fucking
You know what
whatever.
all this did, though, Matt? Built the shit out of your character.
Yeah.
You're
You're stronger now.
Yeah, you are strong. I asked him, I was like, you put a dip in?
Yeah.
He was like, no.
I'm a better man for it. Yeah, can you imagine the buzz you would get right now, though, if I just took some, like, a pinch of snuff and just
Put it
into
just straight in the
those
bloodstream,
sockets?
yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This might sound gross to some viewers, but I took and, like, tried to measure how much, like, I was bleeding a lot. And so I had this water bottle I was, like, spitting into. They're like, yeah, don't drink out of a straw. Don't do this. Don't do that. Whatever. Like, I couldn't stop. Like, I had to they were like, don't spit. Just leave it. Like, just, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, you know? They're like, oh, you're going to bleed, whatever. So I was like, I was trying to, like, spit all this shit out. I had a water bottle by my bed because I was laid up for, like, a day and a half. and it was about half full of just straight up just blood.
Oh,
Holy shit.
Just blood.
God.
Like that's got to do something to you. You lose that amount of blood just like, casual, just spitting blood.
Dude, this is so on the blood topic. Ryan the other day sent me a pretty funny, I say funny, not really funny, but kind of funny picture. Just first thing in the morning, the very first thing I see is a photo of Ryan with blood running down his chest. It's like a selfie in his underwear. And I was like, what the hell happened? He goes, I got shot. Do you want to tell what happened? Like,
I'm curious now.
yeah, I didn't even tell you about that.
No, I didn't even know.
Yeah, so in my younger years, I took a bullet in the left side of my body in my shoulder.
No shit.
Yeah. And so anyways, I started feeling really shitty, and I told Brittany, I was like, I feel like shit. And I had a bump coming up on my left side, and I was like, man, I don't know if it's a pimple or what it is, but it started bumping up, and I go to sleep, running fever. I mean, I'm talking like I thought I had the flu.
Sweats and all that shit.
Yeah. I mean, cold sweats, everything. And I get in bed, and I was sweating to the point where I wake up and I'm wet. And I'm like, God, dog, I sweated so bad. I must have broke a fever in my sleep and this and that. And I get out of bed, and I'm obviously in my boxers and no shirt on, and I walk out in the living room, and her face was just like, oh my. She had this look on her face, and I said, what? She goes, you're covered in blood. What the fuck? And I'm like, oh shit. And I look, and I just got coagulated blood running down all the way down my body. And I'm like, walk in the bed, and there's a pool of coagulated blood there, and apparently a fragment was still in there.
Stayed in there, yeah.
And it festered up. So that's why I was having fever and feeling like shit, and it came out in my sleep.
10 years later.
Yeah, 10 years.
Jesus.
It finally popped out. Like, and I've heard stories of people that back whenever people used to actually have like feathered pillows and stuff. Like if a feather like would go in like people's necks or whatever, it would come back. Like your body will push whatever back out. Yeah. And Ryan just sends me a picture of this hole in his chest.
I was like,
it like broke. Everywhere. It broke through the skin. Or?
Yeah, no, it came out. It came out. Yeah, it was just a little piece of fragment, a piece of jacket of it.
Yeah, just 10 years later, no big deal.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, they missed that.
They missed that. Jeez.
Yeah, put the damn arc reactor in your chest just to keep it out.
I just did a little super glue, and we went on about our business.
Yeah,
that is a slept on. That was a slept-on remedy, that super glue, man.
Yep, no doubt.
Get you out of anything.
Yeah, my son. So I've got a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, and at Rice Festival. So my son was in the Little Rice King Parade, or contest, got first runner-up. He's all excited or whatnot, but little did everybody know that the night before the actual contest, his 1-year-old brother decides... I'm walking out the door to go hunting, right? And I'm getting all my stuff together, and I had my quiver full of broadheads, and I'm like, man, I can't leave these anywhere where the kids can get them. I'm going to put them in my truck. Well, I forgot my truck keys in my room, So I walk. I'm like, shit. I'm in my mind. I'm like, well, I'm not going to carry these all the way back to the room. I'm just going to put the quiver up high. Well, in the 2 minutes it took me to walk back to my room, my 1-year-old gets on a box, gets on top of the table, up on the shelf, grabs my quiver, gets down, pulls an arrow out of my quiver, and whacks his brother on the back of the leg with it.
Jesus.
Yes.
Razor sharp.
Yes. So he's got a gap in the back of his leg, and I'm like, holy shit. Super glue. Super glue. Steri strips and a little bit of super glue.
And you keep that on you, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 14 years of being in law enforcement. Yeah. I carry a complete kit everywhere I go. I can do a minor surgery if you need me to on the side of the road. I might not know exactly what I'm doing, but I got the shit to do it with.
Yeah, you're better off than having somebody who absolutely doesn't know.
Yeah, so I mean, I carry super glue. I carry steri strips. I carry gauze. Obviously, I carry about 6 tourniquets anywhere I go. You never know when you're going down the road. The opportunity to save somebody's life is always there. I mean, I've saved 2 different people's lives just by applying a tourniquet when I was a cop.
Yeah.
Just knowing, hey, he's got an arterial bleed. Let's put a tourniquet on. And knowing how to do that. And that's, I keep those skills with me, even though I'm not a cop anymore. I might one day be driving down the road and Joe Blow's bleeding out on the side of the road. Well, guess what? I can fix you.
Yeah, I can just think about a time, like just right off the top of my head, just you saying that, there was a time where if I had those kinds of skills. I don't know how these people turned up, but like I left the I don't know if I think it was Rice Festival one night. And there was a bad wreck or something like that, and I was like, just so happened to be behind these people, you know, and they were real bad off. But it took a while, you know, for them to get responded to. I was there with them, and I was like, man, just thinking about that. Like maybe if I would have had those kinds of skills, you know, I might have been able to help. I don't know how they turned out, but you know,
Yeah.
best to leave that probably to the people who know how to handle that kind of stuff. But that's crazy, man. Do you keep you in my back pocket?
Do you ever miss the law enforcement, Ryan?
You know, I miss the camaraderie. I miss the brother and the sisterhood and everybody being tight-knit and everything. I don't miss the bullshit politics. I don't miss the administrations who don't back their people doing their jobs and wanting to help the community and folding to the bullshit politics.
Yeah.
Everybody that I've known in law enforcement, you know, you get a really bad rap. Oh, you're a racist, or you're this. Especially if you're a middle-aged white male in law enforcement, you're a racist piece of shit. That is not true at all. In anybody that I've ever been around, I when I was responding to a call, I didn't ask the dispatcher what color their skin was or what anything was. I just wanted to go help people.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of stumbled into the career, and I fell in love with the helping people aspect, and then I fell out of love with law enforcement because of the bullshit that I was catching daily. I mean, daily I was catching, just getting called every name under the book and getting talked to like a piece of shit and a dog and this and that. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. There ain't enough money in this anymore. Y'all can have this.
I experienced now a completely different industry, not dealing with like, you know, in necessarily like a fight or flight, life or death situation. But like I got into a situation where I was, you know, I started, and this is in, you know, oil and gas. Like I was an operator. I was on the floor. I was with these guys every day, busting my ass. And then I got into management. And then it became satisfy your boss, make these people happy. And you kind of lose. I've experienced like I kind of lost sight briefly of, you know, the guys I used to work with every day.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of lost having their back. And then I was like, I realized that. I'm glad I realized that because I was like, oh, hold up. Like these are my guys.
Yeah.
I got to have their back. Like these are guys that are out there busting their ass every day. So I quickly shifted back into that. And I was like, hey, look, you know, like I'm not here. Like obviously I want to do my job and satisfy the customer and my boss and like whoever the bigger guy above me is. But man, these are my guys. I got their back, you know. Yeah. So I think that could be lost upon people and in that, you know, start going up the chain and all that shit. Politics start getting involved. It's no good. But
I left. I was a lieutenant. I had 32 guys under me on patrol, and I'll be honest, when I wasn't working at night and those guys were out there on the streets, I would lay in bed worrying about them too, and worried about, you know, what happened. Those are my guys.
Yeah.
And I still see them. There's a lot of guys, you know, that I used to work with that I see in town and Winnie and everywhere else. And you know, hey, Lieutenant, what's going on, man? What's up, LT? How you been?
LT.
You know, I mean, you know, they're great guys, and I miss the brotherhood. I miss the, you know, I mean, we had a lot of good young men and women that worked with us, and I miss that, but I don't miss the bullshit politics and the. I mean, it's just it's a hot topic these days to be a law enforcement officer, and more power to the people who are still doing it and the people who have done it for longer than I. I mean, I did 14 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I could do another 6, but fuck that. Life's too short. I'm not going to deal with this bullshit anymore.
You think you were like a role model for some of those people?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure. You know, there was guys coming out of the academy, young kids, 21, 22 years old, and I was 35 years old. I was a lieutenant. I've been on SWAT for 10 years. I've worked undercover for years. I mean, I've done pretty much everything you can do in law enforcement other than me. I was never a criminal investigator. I never did like the detective stuff on the petty crimes. I always worked in narcotics, cartel interdiction. I was on DEA task force. I did human trafficking, sex crimes. The shit that goes on day to day that you see in the news is what I was trying to make a difference in.
Yeah, it's like the same way that like I say, the reason I ask you that is like if you, whether or not you felt like you were a role model for those people, like I still see high school coaches and they're like real estate agents now. Like they're not even doing that anymore. I'm like, what's up, coach? You know, because like, that person made a difference in my life, had a positive impact on me, and you know, I looked up to that person. You know,
when I was in a leadership role, even if I didn't have to wear a uniform, my guys wore a uniform. I wore a uniform every day. Yeah. I would show up to calls and make sure that I was there supporting them. I wouldn't sit in the sidelines. I'd walk up and, hey, you need me to do this? What do you need me to do? You want me to help you? I'll do this. And a lot of times in that career, you get these older guys who don't want to do shit and they just want to sit there and not have to do a report. I wouldn't do that. If my guys were out there on it, I want to be part of it. And I think that equates to anything in the world, though. I mean, any kind of leadership position you're in, whether it be in oil and gas or whether it be in a Fortune 500 company or whatever. If you're a true leader, you're there with your guys doing what they're doing every day and showing them how to do it better.
Yeah,
That's
I
well
agree,
put.
man. That goes that goes deep, man. Definitely for the guys. Like, if I'm on the other end of this and I'm listening to this podcast, and I mean, this was me 6 months ago. If I'm sitting at work right now behind the board, loading a ship or something, I'm listening to this podcast. I'm like, I want you as my boss. Like, I want that kind of guy, man. Everybody, for you to set a positive example is really important, man.
Yeah. The way Ryan treats me, I'm thinking about just going ahead and just working for him. Shit.
Well, it's like that Wolf of Wall Street. Like, I quit my fucking job right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show me your paycheck.
Show me a paycheck. I quit my fucking job right now.
Yeah. I'll go work for you.
I'll go work for you.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I think that's why I've been successful in my transition into what I'm doing now with Dragon Industrial Wrap is I'm there every day. I put on my FRs and I go out in the field and do installs. I help those guys who are technicians. If there's anything, any questions, anything that comes to me, my door is always open. That's another thing I've always done. I don't ever shut my office door. If you work for me, you can walk in my office at any moment of the day and ask me a question, and my door's open.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like that gets tough too. I can attest to that. Being there for your guys, man, is a huge deal. I told these dudes whenever I got into my leadership position, I was like, look, guys, I've been there, done that. Like, I was working with you guys yesterday, and now I'm in a new role. If you guys need me, call me. I'm here anytime. And they most certainly did. 24 hours a day, I was on call. They're calling me, texting me, whatever. I'm always there for them. So I think that's a huge deal, man. And I mean, shit, proud of you for that, man. Like, that's great. That's definitely a quality of a leader for sure.
Yeah,
That's what we all strive to be.
Warhola gets a lot of phone calls.
Yeah,
A few.
And you answer every single one of them,
I do.
which is good. I try to not answer any phone calls ever, unless it's my old lady who's like, "Where are you at?" It's like,
bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
I called Porter the other night. It was like 11:30 at night, and I was like, "Oh, he's probably not awake." Phone rings. Like, he's not gonna answer it. Hello. Shit, did I wake you up? He's like, yeah, man, what's up? I'm like, I thought you were on nights, dude. My bad. He's like, nah, I'm sleeping. I was like, oh, my bad. I'll call you back tomorrow. He's like, nah, what's up? He's like, I'm here for you.
Oh man, I had a meeting last week with a bunch of one of those big oil companies. I'm not going to say the name just out of, I don't know if they want to hear their name out there or not. But I was in a big.
They probably listen to the Bayou Dragons podcast.
Yeah, they might. You never know. You never know. One of these multi-billion-dollar companies might be listening. But I was in a meeting, and one of the things that one of my highlights when I talk about Dragon Industrial Wrap is, if you call with an emergency job, I'm answering the phone. Not one of my technicians, not one of my assistant technicians. Me, president of the company, is going to pick up the phone at 2:00 in the morning and answer it. And I told them that, and everybody's looking at me like, yeah, bullshit, whatnot. I swear to God, they were trying to test me because
They called you.
Yes, the very next night at 2:00 in the morning, my phone rings, and I'm, hello. Hey, is this Ryan? Yes, it is. Hey, this is so and so with such company. Hey, we got an emergency out here. Okay, this is what you need to do. Get this to me, and I'll get my engineers to get a solution together, and we'll have a crew out there. And they're like, oh, okay. An hour later, phone rings. Hey, is this Ryan? Yeah, same phone number. It's me. Yeah, and we got their job done and whatnot. And I swear they were trying to test me. But yeah, that's one of my things. I'm going to answer the phone.
Yeah. Take away from this section. Be a leader.
Yeah.
Be the guy you want to work for.
Don't worry, Ryan. I'm not going to call you at 2 in the morning unless I'm just in a bind.
Hey, you can.
I know I can.
I'm setting my alarm tonight.
Dude, I mean, and that goes back to if you want to be successful, don't wait for somebody else to do it for you. Be the one out front doing it for yourself. I mean, that's what I've learned in the last 2 years of doing what I'm doing now is I'm only going to be as successful as I'm going to make myself be. And I can't wait for somebody else to do it for me. So I'm going to go out there and do the best that I can to provide for not only my family. I have people underneath me that I'm worried about their families too.
Yeah.
Now that we have this company, we have these people that work for us. I'm not worried about just the Warhola family. I'm worried about every other family that is under my umbrella at Dragon Industrial Wrap.
Yeah. It's the same way. Everything evolves, man. Your interests, they evolve over time. You may start, with one interest in mind and being one-dimensional, but everything evolves, man. And like you said, starting a company, obviously I'm not speaking for you, but, you may have started with the idea of doing one thing and then it evolves into the next, and now you're interested in, taking care of your people and all that stuff. Like, just thinking about myself, like the same way my hunting interests evolved, into starting for one reason, and now, falling in love with wildlife and the conservation aspect of it and everything. I mean, it's all the same. Everything evolves.
Hell yeah. Well, shit, I think that was a very smooth podcast, Ryan. And we always enjoy having you on. We're going to be having you on again here very soon. Yeah. Probably multiple. I have a couple of different podcasts I'm really wanting to do with you.
Dude, I think what we did on this one, every time we got to an intermission, we're like, you guys ready for another one? We could do that probably 4 or 5 more.
Oh, yeah.
We can.
Yeah, we can keep rolling.
I could keep going right now, but I think you have a stew in the crock pot. Right?
What is it, the Mississippi Queen?
Yeah, I got a Mississippi pot roast sitting in there. Yeah. First time doing it, we'll see how good it is.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man. Captain Ryan Warhola on TikTok, Instagram, if you guys want to check him out. He's always doing something cool, offshore fishing, shooting whitetail, traveling the country.
Check out Snapper Slapper Lures.
Yeah, Snapper Slapper Lures.
This is the man himself right here.
And if you do work at a pipeline company, go ahead and call Dragon Wrap Industrial if you're going to buy
pipelines, refineries, oil rigs. I mean, anything in that oil and gas industry, we service you.
Yeah, Dragon Wrap Industrial.
The local channel, I don't know, this is probably not the same for everybody. They run an ad on the primetime football games. And I was telling him earlier, it's so great. They have this man. Do you know this man personally?
Yeah, he's a local guy.
This guy, he does he's like the Ford guy. Dragon Industrial Wrap.
Yeah, it's a great commercial.
Freaking great job. But, hey, thanks so much for stopping by, man. We really appreciated having you. And
happy to be here.
Enjoyed the shit out of it, man. Looking forward to the next one.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.